I need to tell you something that nobody knows yet. Not even my closest friends. Not even my family. In exactly 3 months, I'm getting married again. And when you hear who she is and how we met, you'll understand why this changes everything I thought I knew about love. But first, let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly seen? Not admired for your achievements, not respected for your success, but genuinely seen for who you are when nobody's watching? If you can't remember, keep watching, because what I'm about to share might be the most important story you hear today. 3 months ago, I was the loneliest billionaire on earth. I know how that sounds. Poor rich guy, right? But here's what nobody tells you about extreme success. It's a prison made of gold. Every relationship becomes transactional. Every conversation has an agenda. Every person who enters your life is either intimidated by what you've built or trying to get a piece of it. I'd been divorced 3 times. The media loved to analyze each failure, but they missed the real story. I wasn't bad at marriage. I was bad at being human. One Friday night, after another 18-hour day of meetings about Mars colonies and neural interfaces, I came home to my 20,000-square-foot house. The silence was so loud it hurt. I had everything. I had nothing. That's when I made a decision that would change my life forever. I decided to disappear. Not literally, but every Saturday morning, I started volunteering at a small food bank in Austin. No publicity, no cameras, no assistants. Just me sorting cans and serving meals to families who had no idea who I was. I told myself I was giving back. The truth. I was desperate to feel human again. That's where I met her. Sarah, 30 years old, elementary school teacher, and the first person in years who looked at me without seeing dollar signs. We were on a lunch break when someone asked why we all volunteered. People gave the expected answers: helping others, giving back, karma. When it was Sarah's turn, she said something that stopped my world. I volunteer because I want to practice being the person I hope to become. Practice being the person I hope to become. In that moment, this 30-year-old teacher understood something that had taken me 5 decades and 3 divorces to figure out. Character isn't built through achievement. It's built through daily choices. When no one's watching, I had to know more. What do you mean? I asked during our break. She looked at me with these incredibly clear eyes and said, "You can't become kind by thinking about kindness. You have to practice it, every day, especially when it's inconvenient." This wasn't some naive optimist. This was someone who had figured out the algorithm for being human, and I'd been debugging the wrong code my entire life. Over the next few weeks, I watched her, not in a creepy way, but like a scientist studying something he doesn't understand. She remembered everyone's names, not just volunteers, the people we served. She knew their stories, their struggles, their children's names. One morning, she picked up a dented can with a torn label. "This reminds me of people," she said. "Sometimes the most valuable things don't look perfect from the outside." That's when I realized I was falling in love. Not with her looks, though she was beautiful. Not with her youth, though her energy was infectious. I was falling in love with her mind. After 6 weeks, I asked if she wanted to get coffee. "Sure," she said, then added, "But I should tell you, I Googled you." My heart sank. Here it comes, I thought, the moment everything changes. "And?" I asked. "And I'm more interested in who you are here, on Saturdays, than who you are out there." We talked for 3 hours, not about rockets or companies or billions, about books that changed how she saw education, about her students who came to school hungry, about what makes life meaningful when you strip away all the noise. She asked me questions no journalist had ever asked. When do you feel most like yourself? What would you do if money didn't exist? What are you practicing becoming? That last question haunted me, because I realized I'd spent 53 years practicing being successful, but I'd never practiced being whole. Dating Sarah was like learning a new language, the language of presence. When we were together, she never checked her phone, never name-dropped, never tried to impress me. She was just there, fully, completely, and she expected the same from me. "You're different here," she told me one Saturday. More real, she was right. Away from the performance of being Elon Musk, I was just a guy trying to figure out how to be useful, and for the first time in decades, that felt like enough. But I need to be honest about something. Dating someone 23 years younger isn't simple. People stare. They whisper. They assume things. Sarah addressed it directly on our third date. "I know what people think. Rich, older man, young teacher. But I need you to know, I'm not here for your money. I'm here because you're the first person I've met who's as obsessed with becoming better as I am." She told me about her father, who died when she was 20. How he spent his whole life chasing success but died without ever knowing his neighbors' names. How she promised herself she'd live differently. "Success without connection is failure," she said. I learned that from watching my dad die with a full bank account and an empty heart. This 30-year-old teacher was teaching the billionaire what money can't buy. 2 months ago, during our regular Saturday volunteering, I watched Sarah coordinate a food drive. She was patient, kind, and brought out the best in everyone. That's when I knew I didn't just love her, I loved who I was becoming because of her. The proposal wasn't planned. We were sorting donations when I just knew. "Sarah," I said. She looked up, hands full of canned goods. "I love you. I love your mind and your heart and the way you see the world. I love who I am when I'm with you. Will you marry me?" I pulled out a simple ring. Nothing flashy. She wouldn't have wanted that. She stared at me for the longest 10 seconds of my life. "Yes," she said. "Of course, yes." Now let me address what you're thinking, because I know the comments are already forming in your mind. She's after your money. You're having a midlife crisis. This won't last. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is all a mistake. Maybe the age difference is too much. Maybe the fourth time won't be the charm. But here's what I know for sure. For the first time in my life, I'm with someone who sees through everything I've built to who I'm trying to become. Someone who makes me want to be worthy of her love. Not because of what I've achieved, but because of who I choose to be each day. Sarah taught me something profound. We spend our lives building resumes when we should be building character. We chase success when we should be practicing kindness. We accumulate achievements when we should be accumulating moments of genuine connection. The most successful thing I've ever done isn't landing a rocket or building a car company. It's learning to show up as myself, without the armor of achievement. If you're watching this thinking, it's too late for you to find love, you're wrong. If you think you're too old, too damaged, too set in your ways, you're wrong. The only thing standing between you and profound connection is your willingness to be seen as you really are. Not your success story, not your failure story. Just you, showing up, practicing being the person you hope to become. Sarah and I are getting married in 3 months. Small ceremony. Just family and the friends we've made at the food bank. We're not trying to impress anyone. We're just 2 people who found each other while practicing being human. And that's enough. More than enough. I used to think changing the world meant building rockets and revolutionizing industries. Now, I understand it means showing up consistently for the people around you. It means choosing growth over comfort. It means practicing love even when you're scared, especially when you're scared. The rockets will fly with or without me. The cars will drive themselves eventually. But this chance to build a life with someone who sees through all the noise to what matters? This is the real moonshot, and I'm all in. What are you practicing becoming? And who's practicing alongside? You? Your answer to those questions matters more than any achievement, any success, any amount of money in the bank. Trust me. I learned that the hard way, but I learned it. And at 53, with 3 failed marriages behind me and a 30-year-old teacher holding my hand, I'm finally ready to practice being the person I hope to become. The question is, are you?